your anthem. Resistance, ring it, we go fling it. If you have a truth over there, then bring it. Bring it to my crown, my table, my center. It's a jamet take over. I come for the bacchanal. I don't have no time for petty girl, no way. Whining on low in front the bar. Yes, I pour something in my cup. When we go up, we stay up. To jam it. When we go up, we stay up. Pour something in my cup. When we go up, we stay up. To jam it. No one is doing up all the time. My knees, boy, my knees. That's problems.
Jam it some room before you get beat like a bottle and spoon. I beg you just give the jam it some room before you get licks with a cookie and broom. How are you doing?
Hey, Forbes, you know about man, you know up here. Oh, God, hide. Die hide, too? Don't come up here if you know no rubber ball with the cup.
Alright,
Pour the
great.
thing, no man. Hey.
Greetings, folks, and welcome back.
It's Tuesday. I wonder.
Yeah, you on?
Right. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, man.
That means Black to Black is on.
Yeah, we are black.
Yeah. You're watching me, Ronald, just in the studio. But before we get to our guest, that camera seen my clear? How clear that camera seen?
Just now.
Right? One, two.
Yeah, it's in your clear.
Right.
It's in here, go ahead. It will be a little delayed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Trinidad and Tobago and hold because we know we are some outside of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
I had a little accident. Right? The pavement. Well, let's see, right. Well, let's see the little markings and things. It's not makeup. So on the pavement, blessed day, mommy.
Yay, Auntie Mommy, what going on?
I'm walking on the pavement in St. Joseph outside the credit union on the main road. And the road that is supposedly the government road, because you know, as you put something on it, they tell you that the government road and you mash it down.
Right.
Right? Had a little raise on it. Where it's supposed to be smooth for you to walk, right? Had a little, about a 2-inch lip. And my foot hit that. And I went tumbling. And the reason, I want to talk about this for 2 reasons. We see, I say it's something I've been saying a few years now. There's no consequences to things in Trinidad and Tobago. That's why crime, especially murders, will continue to rise. Right? We have 4K cameras now and men still walking barefaced and killing men.
Yeah.
Right? The same thing with something like this. I fall along in the road, on the government road,
Right.
because of something that wasn't fixed properly. But I sure to get redress is a whole lot of rings of fire you have to jump through, right?
Redress.
Right. Right? And on top of that now, about 6 people see me fall down.
All right.
About 6 people saw me fall. Nobody move.
Nobody pull out their phone, at least?
Nobody.
Yay.
Right? The security talking to people, all of them, then I want a bright orange jersey. I said today I want a bright yellow jersey. I want a bright orange jersey.
Flosserant.
Yeah. Right? Now, we expecting the children and them to show love and compassion.
Right.
But we not showing it to each other. We not showing it to each other. And we know that children do more of what they see and less of what they are told.
Fact.
Even though we grew up here in a nonsensical statement, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
But the children tend to follow what they see us doing.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody move. Nobody inquire, you know, what going on there. You all right?
Yeah, nothing.
You understand? And this is what I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago. That is why I keep saying love is an action word. And all them things is how we just live in love.
Yep.
Yeah. So there we go now.
Well, so we have with us today Mr. Ronald Yearwood. And Mr. Ronald Yearwood will introduce himself and let the Black to Black Nation know who he is.
Okay, we know run watch it,
Mm-hmm.
That's what I come on the dick, but I don't think you would understand that, so maybe I'll just do it in English. My name is Ron Yearwood. Ronnie Yearwood, I greet all of you all. I'm a Trini.
Right.
I have lived and worked in West Africa for the last 28 years of our lives. Back and forth between Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
We have become part of one of the 6,000 nations in Africa, particularly located in West Africa, in Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, and part in Togo. This is called the Basari tribe. And so we moved in, my wife, myself. We were young at that time. We're still young. We moved in as a young couple,
Right.
our kids, and they adopted us as part of them, and we embarked upon the process of learning their language, their culture, became part of them,
Right.
and have been working there doing social developments and different stuff, linguistics, culture, and different social developments, not as an outsider anymore, but as part of this Basari nation.
All right.
Guinea, West Africa. So that's a little about us. I'm back here for a little bit. In fact, maybe next week I'll be leaving again on my way over to West Africa for another stint.
Nice. We
So
catch
that's a
you in
little
good
about
time.
me.
We catch you in good time.
And the basket of products you have in front of us, tell us a little bit about it now.
Okay, I'm a chemist by trade. So when we first moved in to live among the Tanda people, they had very limited or next to no modern medicine as we will know it, and had never seen a tablet or any of the normal medicines that we were familiar with. And so they have their medicine men that has been taking care of the tribe for centuries and continue to do so. But I went across as a skeptic. Didn't have much belief in any bush medicine. And so we saw them using the stuff. We saw many things that they were using, which was just all plant-based. In fact, the word that they use for medicine is the word plant. So they says, have you found your plant? And so as we lived among them, we saw them using stuff. They had certain diseases that they didn't have medication for, and so we would share our medicine with them.
Right.
The chief of the village was the main medicine man, and we became very close friends. I think maybe it was around 15 years ago, I came down with chicken pox, which doesn't supposed to have a cure, but you let it run its course.
Right.
And so we were in the normal thing of Benadryl and all different stuff using to try to
Calamine lotion and things.
everything. But I had it really bad. I had it on it was even on my tongue. The soles of my feet, every square inch of my body was covered with this thing.
Wow.
In the village. So I was basically hideaway in my room for a couple of days. And as tradition in the village, they would all come by and visit. And one day I had a visit of the queen, and she visited with me. And in the morning, and when she was leaving my room, she looked at me and says, "You talking damn? Says, my son, this disease that you have, I have medicine for it. And if you take it, you'll be better by this evening."
Oy, oy.
Right? But still in my mind, at that point, I am a great skeptic. Right? So at this point in time, I looked at her, but after days of suffering,
Right.
of Benadryl not really working and everything else, I says, "Mother,
Bring it.
I would like to try some."
Right.
So she was surprised that I was willing, I as a foreigner would be willing to try her medicine.
Right.
So she was shocked, and she left the room and went and told my wife. My wife came into the room and with great disbelief, "Are you crazy? What are you going to do?" And I says, "But it's only plants. What? But anyway, to cut a long story short, she was a bucket of water
Right.
with some leaves floating around in it and told me to drink some and to bathe with it. And I don't know, that was the first thing I took as I started bathing with it. It was actually taking the pox right away off of my skin. I was better by evening.
Wow.
And so as a chemist, I was like, what in the
Interesting.
world
Yeah,
is in this concoction?
Yeah.
So when I was leaving the village, I asked her for it, and I ended up doing some research at UWI, my MPhil, researching the medicinal plants of Guinea, West Africa.
Right.
And so along that process, just came to a realization a lot of the herbs and stuff that they make their soaps or their creams or their oils
Right.
has already to a large extent been researched and shown to be antibacterial, antifungal, and all of these sort of stuff. And so with my family, we started using the products, which the main thing was the African black soap,
Right.
which is well known in West Africa. Each tribe has a slightly different concoction
Right,
based
to make
upon
it,
their medicinal plants that they use to make it. And so my wife, with the ladies of the village, we decided to embark upon a way to bring value to what they have by studying it, seeing the formulations. Many times we look at stuff in Africa and the way it looks, it's like, wow, we can't use that. It's look weird, or it doesn't look like something that I'll put on my skin.
Right.
So what we did, by testing, we put it in a form that was more appealing to the West. So the ladies in the village, they make it, the bulk material, and so we reformulate it here in Trinidad. And my daughter is the one that is overseeing this line called Affexan. The Tanders say Afechan, meaning source of life. And since all the materials that are used in these products are edible, because they are from right in the bush, right around where these people live, and they have been using these products traditionally for ages.
Thousands of years.
So this is soaps that they use, creams that they use, that has wonderful properties.
Right.
So we are now selling it here. This is all we use, and we also, for people who are interested, we have made it available to them here in Trinidad. So that's the products that we have here.
Where is this product available?
Well, right now we have it online. We used to be in a few stores in Trinidad, but we found it easier at this point in time since COVID actually rebranded, and so we have an online store. And customers that have known us through the years, we have been in the Emancipation Village, so we have people that have met us there.
Right.
So they continue to purchase our products. We also sell it in the US and back in Africa as well. Back in Guinea, these are
So
also shown.
where's the site that it could be
The
found on?
site is affexan.com, right? So that is the information there on the card. So it's Affexan Cosmetics, the name of the company. We have an online store.
Instagram and Facebook as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
And send it so that the people in the chat will be able to see it, because we see an amalgamation over the last few years of quote-unquote natural products.
Yeah.
Karen and I was having a good laugh, a sad laugh, but a good laugh recently on the fact that we found out that some of the things that we were told were black products were actually made by Caucasians.
Right.
Yep.
You know, with a black face printed on it now.
Yep.
You know, so you got to actually meet somebody that in it and to actually hear the story of the chicken pox. I
Right.
think that's a story that needs to be told continuously, because we still have a lot of negative stereotypes about what our ancestors that's still on the continent, what our people that's still on the continent capable of.
It's really great. As I said, we have lived among them for a very long time. The stuff is changing with commercialization and modern medicines and stuff.
Right.
But still in many of these very remote tribal locations, people have very, very great knowledge in terms of the herbal medicines. And we have come to the conclusion, I cannot speak for all of Africa, we are in one little corner. There's 6,000 nations in Africa. Africa is a humongous continent. So sometimes we say we're going to Africa and we think we're going to a country. Africa is a continent.
Yeah.
And we are located in a very small corner of this massive continent.
The southeastern or southwestern, you said?
No, we are in the west coast.
West coast, okay.
It takes me 12 hours to fly from where we are across the continent to Ethiopia. another 10 hours of constant flying across down the continent, down to South Africa. This is massive.
Right.
But in a lot of these tribal locations, their traditional herbal medicine is really, really well established for a lot of the diseases that they deal with.
Right.
And a lot of the skin, I think anyone who has a skin problem,
Yeah.
they are excellent, right? Excellent on skin, on dealing with stuff with the skin. So a lot of the medication that we have here
Right.
is what they have been using for centuries for skin care.
Right.
If I have a pimple on my face in the village, they actually come and try to take it off. It is so weird to see a person
With a pimple.
with a pimple. It's like that. I'm speaking about in the village, and it's because of what the natural products that they have been using. Many of the products are well known. I mean, so everyone knows about shea butter. It is a well known product. But again, the other thing in terms of commercialization, sometimes I see shea butter here that is not actually shea butter.
Well,
so it's being
we
showed
face
as shea
that.
butter
We
and stuff.
We face that all the time.
So,
All the time. All right. So, I mean, I so fascinated here because you come straight from. You came highly recommended from Kyle.
Aye.
Kyle Grant. You know, he was telling us about you and stuff, and then he sent us the contact information, and he told me he say you're coming in November. Right, but I had so many people scheduled in between there that I couldn't reach out to you as yet.
Okay.
So when I reach out to you now and you say, yeah, we could come, I say, all right, we catch you in good time. Because I know for me, one of the questions I had about the motherland is, you know, what is life like there? You know, I following some people on YouTube who migrated from US and Canada to Ghana. And you know, you would see mix.
Yeah.
You know, because they say, you know, the Africans will treat them not funny, but they get preferential treatment when they hear the accent because they see them as tourists. And then they, in some cases, they, you know, scorn because, you know, they're considered external or outsiders. So, as a red man, like me, you know, how was the reception when you first came?
Okay. I would like to say again.
Go ahead.
When we speak of Africa, it's not like you're speaking about Africa, India, China.
Right.
Africa is a continent.
Right.
And we could actually, with 6,000 countries.
Right.
Each nation, each tribe has its own language, its own culture, right? And also it's very complex because a lot of people may go as tourists.
Right.
And you're in the capital cities of
Yes.
Lagos or Dakar or Conakry, whereby in the cities is all the people who have left the tribes are living in the cities trying to find a living.
Right.
And the life in the city does not necessarily represent the lives
life
where they
outside.
came from, which is in the village kingdoms.
Right.
Right. So you can actually get two different types of experiences because
Right.
the social control in the cities are not the same.
Right.
But what we have experienced, yes, they identify us as foreigners because once you do not speak the language,
Yeah.
we many times in the West think they identify themselves by this color of a skin color.
Right.
They're all the same color, but there are 6,000 different ones.
Right.
And if you come from South Africa into Guinea, for example, in our village, right, they would call you a white person. Doesn't matter the color of your skin.
Right.
Because if you come speaking a language that is not theirs,
Right.
regardless of the color of your skin,
You're white.
you're a foreigner. And
foreigner.
wine basically means foreigner. You're a foreigner.
Okay.
Right? But regardless of the color of your skin, however, once you start to learn their language, you begin to speak that language. You
Right.
become part of the tribe because the tribe identifies
With the language.
members of that tribe by the language.
Right.
But one of the things that we have found all over Africa, because we have traveled from West Africa, Ethiopia, South Africa, Mozambique, we have been traveled quite a bit.
Is it expensive?
Very, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, travel within Africa is fairly expensive.
All right.
Yeah,
But,
shall learn blessings, man.
but one of the things that I would say to big up the African culture, very, very high on hospitality.
All right.
And to do a foreigner harm
It's
is the worst
taboo.
thing
Yeah.
a tribe can do. So the safest place that I have felt and the greatest welcomes that I have received, not in the cities, but in these tribal
Tribal
locations
villages, yeah.
where they still have the chiefs, the kings, and they set the social structure is set up. They have received us warmly, right?
Okay.
Treat you like kings
Right.
because they want you to leave and to say something good
Good about them, yeah.
about them. So in terms of being received, and they don't, as I said, they received all foreigners the same once you do not speak the language.
All right.
Right. So there's not making a distinction of, okay, you're a red man, you're a black man, or you're a white man.
Yeah.
No, all of you all are foreigners. But as you come in and you start to embrace us,
Right.
right, then you become one of us, right? You become part of our tribe, and again, that is regardless of skin color. You know,
That's
so
horrible.
the skin color to them is not just on the surface,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Is on the heart,
The
right?
heart.
And once that behavior starts to be similar to what the tribe displays, then you are considered, and they use the word black man,
Right.
abanangak, right? You're a abanangak, brumbal. You're a black person in your liver. Regardless of your skin color, you have adapted our culture, and now you are a true black man.
Boom.
I think what Karen said just now is a reality that we'd have heard from older people. I hardly hear, I know a few people that travel back and forth to the continent right now.
Right.
And the older people, actually, even before I became aware of Africa, before I became aware that I was a black man, or that the world considered me a black man, and I just thought of myself as a man living in Trinidad and Tobago, or a young person, because I was still in my teens when this happened. I remember I had an aunt who, one of her friends went to Egypt and Ethiopia. Never forget that. And she was the first person that I heard said that she find the treat her off like she's not one of them. Right? So she was somebody I heard say that. But I haven't heard that in a very, very long time now. And a tiny thing to what you're saying, because we're not just trying to go, plenty of us not just trying to go as tourists anymore.
Right.
You know, like Karen and I sincerely looking into repatriating. You know, about how they deal with you. We have recognized that the city life, you can feel like you're in town. Or when you actually go to the villages.
Yeah.
Or the kingdoms. I really don't like the term villages anymore. I don't like the term, well, not really village, but see, tribe. I'm going to tell you why I don't like that term. England used to rule this, basically the whole planet, right? But England, so. You have kingdoms in Africa with the same amount of people
Yeah.
as England. You hear now say you're flying from one part of Africa to the next part of Africa for 12 hours. Still, people, let's put that into context. From Trinidad to New York is 5 hours.
Right.
And we feel that real far. But you're leaving one side of the planet to go on the others, right? This is 12 hours flight within one piece of land. So that's what I say. I say like that. I really, really don't like the term tribe anymore, because tribe makes you feel it's just
Separated.
100 people
Yeah.
running around in
Skirt.
straw
Grass skirt,
skirt and them kind of thing. Now these people and them give you a bucket of water with some leaf in it.
I think for me, what living there, it has totally changed my impressions of Africa than when I was not there.
Right.
When I'm here, we have a particular impression, but actually there and living with these people, living in the village, our kids grew up in the village. Okay, speaks the village language, right? To see their social structure, the strength of families, how a man will kill for his children, right? things that they value.
Yeah.
Right? Hospitality. Right? They will show hospitality to their detriment. Even though they know you come in and you are taking advantage of me. You're a foreigner. I am obligated to treat you that way.
Karen, what does always say about? He say they will show you hospitality even at their own detriment. I always say our problem as African people, our biggest strength
It's our weakness.
is also our biggest weakness.
But that has to do with it is with a strong belief in God, because they believe, right? You may be taking advantage of me, but I am treating you with hospitality, and so I have greater wealth with God, right? And so going in with a sense of fear, right? That all we see is how they will kill you, how they will do this, all the wars that are taking place there and stuff.
Like that.
I tell you, the safest place, even when there may be civil war, whatever is going on in the capital city.
You didn't feel that. But we have a question here for you, right?
We are out in the village.
You see it?
Yeah, we have a question here for you one time.
Oh.
It's
So
our
that-
friend Maria. Blessings, Maria. See Damien.
Fireball, big
Fireball
yourself.
is
Big
on
up.
the chat.
Yeah.
Right?
Cool, in
she-
the house of dreads.
She asks, which one of his products will he recommend for psoriasis or eczema?
Eczema.
Okay, well, of course, we have the all natural black soap, right? With which is these two. This is the solid version,
Right.
and this is the liquid version, right? It's supposed to be very gentle on the skin, right? So people have. I'm not a doctor, okay, but in terms of people who have used it,
Yeah.
this and we have our remedy butter, okay, which is based again with the shea butter, but then other oils that they have that we have heard that it has helped with with those things. But those two products, right? The shea butter is known, but this is almost 100% shea. This is real shea butter, right?
Yeah, not that jokey thing when they sell it. We don't get
Right.
it.
So those two things I would recommend it based upon what others have said. But of course, sometimes psoriasis and those things has a more complicated causes. Yeah, root causes.
Root cause, yeah.
But for calming and stuff, we have heard that it actually helps.
What's the cost of the two items?
Oh boy.
I don't remember.
We have to go on the website.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright, don't fight up.
It's on the
I'll
The
send
website.
the website info, Maria, so you can check it out.
Send it on WhatsApp now, the actual link.
Yeah, I'll send it.
Yeah, because you know how YouTubers try to dumb we down.
Yeah, boy, don't go on.
Yeah. the thing's still there, but the
Nah,
website never show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What would you advise to people like us who actually have the thought of repatriating?
One thing I would say, okay, when we talk about going to the motherland, right, it can be, and I think a lot of people who sometimes go with that idea, you can be disappointed.
All right.
Right? Because for you,
You're thinking you're going for
going
betterment.
home. No, you are going home.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
going where we came from.
Yeah.
Right?
The
And
source.
Okay. And then you get there and they don't treat you that way.
Right.
And so you can be disappointed. Also, regardless of what we say, right? We have adopted ways because of our culture, where we are in Trinidad, where we are in the West,
Right.
which can be very, very different than the thinking of where you're going to be going.
Yep.
Right.
So in going with that different thinking, right, can set you up to be a greater foreigner. You cannot, even though you would look like them, your behavior is so different than what
They are accustomed to.
a black person in their liver supposed to be.
Right.
That you are continuing to see to be seen
As a foreigner.
As a foreigner. However, going with the attitude, right? And I'm saying that when we talk about going to Africa, you can go as a tourist to Lagos, stay in the hotels, and make a little trip and see it, right? That is one type of visit. But in terms of going into where the kingdoms are, right? Going with nothing,
Right.
right? Or a normal thing, I'm going to Africa, what can I take for them? These people they are proud, intelligent. Look at what they make,
Yeah.
right? They are proud of how they look.
Right. So this is how you dress all the time?
You go into the village during the day, they're working and stuff. They have a time when they finish work from around 7 p.m. It's called Mangalo time.
Mangalo.
I guess that's where we get our line from in Trinidad.
All right.
Mangalo time is when you have bathed,
Yeah.
you put on your best wear,
Right.
and you just visit.
One another.
Visit one another. You eat, you visit, you just hang out. Right?
Sure.
At
That's
that
something
time,
nice, boy.
At that time, you're well dressed.
Right.
You may not be dressed like this. This would be more for a wedding and stuff like that.
All right.
But the better you are dressed, when I come to visit you, is the more honor I am bringing to you.
Here.
Right.
Here's something.
So they want to look nice.
Right.
But however, going into a village, I was saying I have nothing. I come as a foreign. I come as a stranger.
Right.
Right. And let them welcome you. Okay? And see what that is like. Do not go with a pre-idea.
Preconceived notion, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. That you're above them.
That I'm above them,
Yeah.
right? But just go and accept their hospitality and
Yeah.
see what their hospitality, a village hospitality, looks like.
Right.
Okay? And then make your decision.
All right.
Right? But what we have, as I said, we went there, we love the place.
Right.
Right? We feel very, very much as at home there, especially now that we know the language.
Yeah.
But the treatment that we receive there, it can't be compared. They really, really are excellent at treating their foreigners very, very nicely, and we feel very, very welcome.
Right.
However, if I break the taboos, right, that's another thing.
Right.
That is what they stand for.
Right.
Right. So anytime I hear a foreigner being treated badly, I wonder what have that person done, unknowingly or unknowingly. Right. So it's going with an attitude. I want to learn your culture. I want to learn what is important for you.
Yeah.
And then I would adapt
To you. Right.
And we came from there. So there's lots of similarities. That's a nice thing I think from us. I don't know, I can't speak for the whole Caribbean.
Right.
But from Trinidad, that made it a little easier for us.
Right.
In terms of even learning, while we can't even speak the language, body language, certain things that
pick up,
that are being communicated, certain actions. It's like
Yeah.
right away, we can get an idea of what is being communicated. So it really helped, right, in terms of that transition.
Okay.
You know why I laugh there? I laugh because when my mother on there, I laugh because at times, you get pulled up as a child or even get licks for that same body language.
Of course.
You say something or didn't say something or responded or didn't respond with your body movements or your face. Or a song come out your mouth, not a word,
Right.
or a breath. Yeah.
But the other thing that we have grown to appreciate is we always talk about the Caribbean men, what we are and stuff like that. And to me, going into a village location and seeing the structure, all societies, we have our problems. So I'm the one that, we have our problems and stuff. But the respect of elders, they have taken that to a level that is so beautiful, right? Not the wisdom of silence, right? When we first went into a village, we think we were dealing with the chief because he's the one, in terms of us, will talk. Main meetings, he's the one that is speaking and stuff. And he looks like the leader. But the leader never speaks, right? So so when we go in with and I'm the one that is speaking, they can't figure out who is the leader then. Right? So you always have a mouthpiece, and that level of respect for elders, respect for someone who is older than you, and to see that up in operation and people living lives like that in the village.
I hear you saying that, and that takes me back to Dr. John Henry Clark when he said to us, when he went looking for Sheikh Anta Diop to bring him to the West. Because Sheikh Anta Diop was the scientist that used DNA to prove that the ancient people of Kemet, what we just call Egypt today, were black. He said he run out of money. And I'm listening to you. And it almost sound like Dr. Clark. Because Dr. Clark said he reached with a little bit of money in Senegal. And before he find who he was looking for, he money done. So you come from America, you have no money, in a place where you can't really talk the language, you can't really understand much. And he said that same thing. They welcomed him, took care of him, and went and looked for the person that he was looking for. You know what he say? He say the things that he noticed. We had no words for orphanage.
Yeah.
We had no words for old people home.
We have no words for widow.
You know?
You know. So yeah, those are stuff that they cannot understand. that a child does not have a parent.
Yeah, you understand? Or you're orphan.
Yeah, that and we are saying that there are certain places in Africa that would exist because Africa is a massive country.
Yeah.
Right.
But the corner of West Africa, even in terms of trying to do translation and stuff, trying to figure out.
That's exactly what he said. They have
A
no
word.
words for those things.
They don't have that. Yeah, they had certain concepts. So
Because and it is, as you said, and I love hearing you say those things, having already heard, you know, but from a lecture standpoint, from an educational standpoint, to now actually sitting with somebody who is actually living amongst this and experiencing some of those things now.
one of the things that we did, but still, I see some of the problems in where we actually work.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm able to say that.
There's lots of help. Everyone is also always very help to help Africa, send aid to Africa, right? And we sit down in the village with them, and they hear all the aid coming, and they just laugh. You know, it's like, right? And we went, honestly, our mission to go in there was to help, right? And we're gonna help them to start eat properly, healthier foods, and a whole set of ideas that we came with.
Yeah.
To help with medicine and all of that. And after living there for a while, it's honestly, I began to ask us, them people need to help me. When when the 80-year-old man in the village is taking me to the field with him,
Yeah.
and I can't keep up with him, right? Or when the chief of the village, Monsieur Kalisa, right, and his wife named their son after me, Ron, great honor, right? But the chief of the village, the king of the village, he's 90-something years old,
Right.
and his wife is 60-something years old, and they have a child, okay, and they name that child after me.
What?
You begin to ask yourself, what
we really doing?
What you
Yeah.
doing? You have stuff that you're doing that you need to start to teach me. And I think once we came to the point of realizing, yes, we have stuff that we can share, but they have stuff that they can share.
Right.
And when it's a sharing, right, they can embrace what we are bringing, but we are seeing what they have to offer as well as something that is valuable.
Right.
And so our thinking, even in terms of doing all of this, is to bring value to what they have in our eyes, as opposed to seeing something and right away, that's from Africa, that ain't good. Right? We can put this on a shelf next to something, right?
Hell yeah.
And it looks good, but this is actually better. So how can we start to take what they actually have? Not trying to bring something in from the West and teach them how to do it.
Right.
But take what they
their stuff
have
out, yeah.
and take it out.
Yeah.
And doing it from within as part
Diaspora.
of them, so to bring empowerment.
Yeah.
So part of that was reading. They felt they weren't human beings, right? And when you begin to learn the culture, you start to realize, hey, there are certain things in the culture that continues to keep these people back, right? They know their past, as many of us who came from African roots know our past just up to slavery.
Right. Nothing before.
Nothing before.
Yeah.
Right? And so because of that, they cannot read And so only human beings can read. And since they cannot read and write, and they believe that their language can never be written because they are not human beings, they do not have a human language. And somehow, maybe through history or whatever, they were told that, right? So here's a group of people thinking, I am not a human being. So when a foreigner they says in there, and I'm speaking specifically, I'm not speaking for Africa.
Right.
I'm speaking for the Basadi people.
Yeah.
Right? When they saw us, they couldn't figure out what we were. Right? This is a village that we go into that didn't really have much contact with people from the outside. Right?
Yeah.
Even other tribes.
Right.
So for them there is God. Right? It's the highest. Below God is the angels and demons or whatever, the spirits. Right? Then there is them in the village. Right? There's the Basadi tribe.
Right.
Okay. But when we come in now, they're trying to figure out, are you all human or are you all spirit? Are you all human or are you all demon? Okay. And then and we did stuff that proved to them that we are not human, right? Okay, many things we did that proved to them that we are not human.
Example, please. An example, please.
They have a well that they have been trying to pull water out for years, centuries, and they have a bucket that they drop down into the well. After a while, I don't want my wife doing that, so I just buy a pump and put a pump down in the well. Now I have a river, as they say, running in my house. How in the world did you do that?
Right.
When they didn't have electricity, okay, the only reflection that they had seen of themselves was in the river. They never saw a photograph of themselves.
Jesus.
Right? This is what we are talking about. But it's not that they were foolish.
No,
These people were
definitely
intelligent.
not. Yeah, definitely not.
Right? So here, for them, we are definitely not like them.
Right.
So we are in a category of somewhere between God and demon and spirit or somewhere up there. But however, when we were able to reduce their language to an alphabet, right? Excitement started to happen. And I remember one day, one of the old men in the village came to test me. Is it really possible? So
Right.
he told me something. And he says, write it down. He told me something in his language. Okay? Write it down. And he saw me write it. So I'm coming back. He went away for 2 weeks. And he came back. He said, that thing that you wrote down that I said, pull it up. And he says, I want to see if you are really that good. Tell me what I said. And I took it and I read it back to him. He was so blown away that his language, Tanda language, could have been reduced to an alphabet. When we finally gave them this, right, rejoicing in the village, and the rejoicing was, we are human beings. So we started a school. We wanted to teach we would start with a few adults.
Right.
To teach them to read and write their own language. They can speak their language, but they have never read it. Right? We wanted to start with 15, just as a beginners class, and no kids were allowed. The room that we built couldn't contain the people that were coming. These are old people who never. The only thing they not to hold was a cutlass. Never held a pencil. Everyone wants to read their own language. They are finally becoming human beings. And with that, giving them their own language in a written form, so now they can write their own language, has given a source of empowerment to them.
To them, yeah.
Right? Of what they can do. And we see for many of the tribes in Africa, they are oral. They can memorize.
He's always said that.
They can memorize. A guy can memorize all of this. Their memories are excellent, right? But the fact of being able to write down
what they say now,
what their words are, has given such pride and power.
So I want blessings, Kyle. I want to weigh in on that a little bit, listening to it, and playing on, the little bit of history from Africa that I learned now. Why do we need to write down a language? No, I'm asking that from the perspective of the people who live in their lives according to them, and writing down the language is not a requirement of living their lives, right? A photograph is not a requirement. No, we have these phones that could take such amazing pictures and videos. We know this study, right? But we go to meet people, and these people have never seen a basic cell phone for a phone like this. Mm-hmm. Or the camera setup that we might go with. Or the thing that we're showing what we're taping on the camera with. So we might have a big screen, right? What really is primitive and what really is the things that you need if you are away from the city, not trying to live the city life, but you have a disease that you could use a plant and bathe and get rid of. The reason why I ask this, right? Right now I'm a firm believer in finding the balance. And to me it's sounding like you kind of find that balance with these people. Because one of the reason why I ask some of them things to go with the balance is I find when you listen to some people speak about their interaction with the people of Africa from the different nations, some things come across as they're primitive even without using the word primitive. Not realizing, or not I shouldn't say realizing, not accepting that these people have been living their way of life, not forced to live how somebody else tell them for hundreds of thousands of years, and not respecting that. Now you went into these people, you live with these people, they welcome you, you learn the language. Now you in Trinidad and Tobago, thousands of miles away. Thousands of miles or hundreds of miles? Thousands of miles away with their language. But it didn't sound like, well, to me, it didn't sound like I gain all of this because all they didn't have it, all it's so primitive, all they didn't know it. Sound like just because you realize the world that we live in, the time that we live in, and how much easier it would make it to communicate.
Yeah.
Because I keep telling people, we no longer live in our world. We still live in a world when you're getting news from America 2 weeks later.
Right away now.
We're living in a village now.
Yeah.
Some of our village separated by a lot of water. Mm-hmm. But we're living in a village now. Because you will be in Guinea in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we would be able to call you in Guinea and hear about something that happened in there as it happened.
Right.
There's now a world. There's a village.
Yeah.
How do we bridge those gaps where we're not trying to take the people away from the traditions that they have, but bring them up to speed with some of the things that we even created, but we just didn't create it on the continent.
That's a very profound, deep, right? I will give you my perspective. There may be many different perspectives, right? But we are all human beings. That's a basic thing.
Yep.
Right? And sometimes I think for us in our world, we can make decisions for others as if they are not human beings. Right? So I can go into people and make a decision for them that you guys need to stay this way.
Right.
Right? Now, on the other hand, going in to bring and to change who they are. Right? But each human being have a desire for a certain standard of life, what is good in life. And if a people that we have gone to, right, there's this great sense of not even being a human being, right? And look at others that fly in plane or can read a book,
As
right?
greater than them.
As greater than them.
Yeah.
And there's this heavy inferiority
Complex, yeah.
right, that they're carrying, even though they have one of the best soaps in the world. But you know what will happen? Some person who may look a little different will come in with their fake soap, right? And because it's foreign, all the young people, as all young people all around the world,
They do, yeah.
they no longer use this, but they use the foreign stuff that's giving them pimples now. All the
Yeah.
young people having pimples that the old people never had.
Right.
Okay? Because they have this feeling that
That is better, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so to me, going in and saying, okay, for example, you brought up the topic of writing. As I said, many of us, our history stops at slavery. If we go back, Africans were writing before most people,
Correct.
right? So that means these people their ancestors used to write before. So it is something that they had
They lost. Yes. Yes.
And because it's something that they have lost, the old people, right? There was the old people who pushed this because they were concerned
That is what we lost
that their
again.
language, even the language that they're speaking, they were losing it. That the younger people would grow up not being able to speak the language of their parents because the young people are now migrating. They want to go into the city to have cell phones.
Bright
and to do
lights,
all
the bright
right.
lights, yeah.
And so by doing that, they're leaving the city because they're humans. They're looking for something better.
Yeah.
So by the old people pushing this, the one who helped me with this, he's passed away. No, when this finished, he said he can finally die in peace
Sure.
because he knows the word Balawan forever. It would always be Balawan. That is my language. It would never be changed by some other word.
Right.
Right? So that aspect to me, I am seeing a lot of these places need what you call empowerment.
Yeah.
Right? Is give them what is needed to bring to value what they already have and what their heart's desire is for betterment in life. Right? So I push that as we live among them, as we understand the culture and we understand their heart's cries. How can we come along
And make things
and
better.
and work
Add,
together
yeah.
to accomplish some of these
So let me
things?
play devil's advocate now.
Yeah. You're doing a good job so far. So.
Right? Not. Oh, I want to phrase it in such a way that it not misconstrued. I personally don't believe that we all humans. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say I don't believe we're human. I cannot be categorized as humans with some of the people that did some of the atrocities that they have done on this planet over time. So if, and I always say this, look on Witness Day. If Caucasian people are categorized as humans, I am not a human being. And I'm sticking with that. Right? If you could build a bomb, you hire a man who's a scientist, take him from one field and put him in the next field and lock him away. And all you want him to do, and the other scientists that are working with him, is to build a bomb that can destroy the planet. I cannot be categorized as you. No, these are not one-off events. I'm not speaking of a one-off event. I'm speaking about since the world has encountered what we call the people we call Caucasian. This has been their natural nature. People hate to speak about it. They use the word racial. But nothing I'm saying is not true. Right? You come into the same beautiful country that you are so blessed to be in Africa, and you go to different countries. You go to South Africa, you tell them people and them we taking this land, you take it over. Even up to today, we still have apartheid rule, even though it's called democracy today.
Yep.
Right? And all those little things. Right? You divide Africa amongst yourself. What do you call it, treaty? Where they divided Africa, Mendoza, give me that, they had a treaty. This is not long ago. and they divided Africa and they give, all right, you go take the Congo and them places there, we go take Ghana and them places. Right. If those people that are responsible for all those atrocities are considered human beings, I, Orisha Lashe Ogelana Ogunlade, I'm not a human being. Because I remember years ago, right up this very road where we are, to the top of this road, time I had a long dread. I used to sell movies and CDs, DVDs and CDs. I just went to buy blanks. And I decided to walk back up the road because it's not far from the major road. And just like I fell yesterday, I saw an old man falling a manhole. And I dropped everything I had that I just spent my money for. I drop it on the ground and run over the road to pull the man out of the hole. Now he look up here. He see my dread. He see that we is not the same ethnicity. But you know, he didn't refuse my hand. When I take him out now, I ask him, you all right? And go off. But I would not do it again. I just laugh. Because at that time I had already understood. Then it was told to me a few years ago. Part of my responsibility is to help women. You know, when I was given that, you know what they tell me on top of that? You can't just help black women. You have to help all women.
Berlin Conference.
When they share up Africa, right? So it's, what we were saying earlier, it's not in our natural nature to not like people and not help people and things, you know. But me, just like how you was a skeptic when you just went to the country, and with that, I am a skeptic of all of us is the same. That has never worked for us as African people. All of us are the same and live in love. We've tried it. It has failed miserably. It's today's Martin Luther King Day. Yesterday. So I've seen people posting it now. They tell me all kind of shit years ago. When I post that Martin Luther King, one of his last statements was, I fear I have integrated my people into a burning house. You know? The reason why I'm saying all of this here is because I want to follow your lead. Would you say that you are living there and you just come back to Trinidad?
Africa, we in fact, we have lived more of my life has actually been there than here. And actually in terms of being able to get around, feel comfortable, understand stuff, I think I've lost most of my Trinidadian, okay?
Well, that's why
I don't even know how to do, sometimes don't even know how to do stuff here anymore. So we actually feel quite, honestly.
So I want to be like that.
Quite at home.
We use it there. That's how I want to be. But you give me a piece of information, I don't even know if you give me it. If you know that you give me it. Thinking wise, when you said the preconceived notions we like to go with. Now I've always, well, I shouldn't say always, but I've realized it recently that aid is a detrimental thing. Not just to Africa, even to us here in Trinidad and Tobago. It always comes at a cost. And to me, all the money, the billions of dollars that they quote in aid over the years, when we look at some of these places, you can't see the results of that aid.
Because it's degrading to us as humans, even if you're doing something, right? And I come right away and say, no, let me help you. How we feel? Right away it's like, what happened? You feel like I do it?
Yeah.
Right? And so anytime we come to someone, right, and says, I'm gonna help you, it's right away saying, I am better than you, I know more than you, so let me help you. So you have determined before that I have a certain status, and right away you are dealing with giving the person the sense of inferiority. And we continue to do that. Even we have groups come from Trinidad, right? The first thing they say, can we bring clothes? What can we bring? finally we tell them, listen,
Just come now.
I want you all because I see the people are very hospitable. So when you come, whatever you give, they smile, they put on a show, the kids come and receive it, and they smile and they have a
They
nice
go inside.
right? Okay, and they receive you very nice. Have a big show. You take your pictures, all the stuff that you have given to help the village and all the needs of the village, and then you leave, and you see the kids. The clothes is on the ground. They don't even wear it, right? Right now we have a program that has gone into West Africa. They with health aid for malaria, and has given out mosquito nets. You come in, you count the family, how many people in your house, right? There's malaria that's killing you all, which is true. We're going to give you mosquito nets. We're going to help you. Everyone get mosquito nets. Someone get 2, so everybody has mosquito nets. Pictures are taken. I wouldn't say the organization, but the aid organization, they left. The mosquito nets are now being used now to cover their gardens.
From the rainwater.
No, for the birds not getting in.
Right.
And as goalposts, so now they have nets. So the aid, right, the aid was given it was not given in the sense of empowerment. It's given in the sense, right, that
And
we
look
have
down to continue the inferiority.
right, and it's a continuing perpetuation of this idea that we Africans, we can't do anything unless we get a handout from the West or wherever. However, right, when we see these ladies, right, who are doing this, even when we take this back to the village, they didn't even believe it was their product. Right? When they found out it was their own product, now they're going on to the young people who are going to the store and buying it in the store. It says, look, this is ours. So you're giving the people a sense of pride in what they have. And so to me, the greatest gift for development in Africa, in these rural areas, is for us to take our knowledge that we have, that we say we have in the West, right, and help share that with them. With the village that we are in, we have engineers. Guinea has 5 of Africa's largest rivers, right? In one area, could build a hydro dam that can supply people with water like crazy. These rivers that we have in Trinidad is like canal. Right? And so to say we are coming in, instead of saying I'm gonna give a village a well, can we come with our intelligence? We went and we taught the village we needed to put in a bridge. We got 8 to put in a bridge, but we're gonna do it different. Each village around have to send 10 workers. Each worker, we're gonna give you a bike to come to work, and we're gonna train you. Right now, those are engineers came from all over the world.
Right.
And here are these villagers working with them, building this bridge.
Where they will take
5 years ago, we went back. Do you know what happened? There was another bridge that needed to be built. Do you know they got together and built this bridge
because you learn
on your own with wood? Right? So it gave them a sense of empowerment. For the other thing that you said, in terms of the humanity of us, right? I would say there are different degrees to our humanity, and it just shows what we are capable of as human beings. And sadly, one thing I would not necessarily agree with you is that each race or each skin color, I mean, you've seen it in the village, right, of how they can treat each other.
Yeah.
Right? And when a villager treats another villager in some of those ways, the word that they use is Ajo Hogina Allah. That person is not a human being. So, so the actions of that person does not fall in the realm of what humans
here one of
supposed to do.
The watchers post now, Mendoza say, we are spiritual beings having a human experience among humans, but we are not human beings. They are human beings. So that might tie into what it
I-
is you just said.
That's a different topic
Right?
that I would not venture into with any
You
degree
see,
of
they
knowledge.
destroyed our kingdoms and then came back presenting AIDS and AIDS. Oh, boy, we know that is true. You know, because as I say, you destroy the kingdoms it had when you do the Berlin Conference, but then you come back bringing help.
But one thing I'd like to say, right? The village that we live in, they don't think they are poor. So it's not like it's last year we were my wife and I we were there. I think it was last year. It was during the rainy season, and so we are in a hut. We have a nice hut, okay, a romantic hut that we have built in the village. That's really nice. And we're in there's in the night was full moon. Okay, when that is natural light in the village, and I think I remember a little bit when I was a kid growing up, and what we used to do at full moon, they play catch it, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The songs of the kids playing and singing, they have clear rules of demarcation of male and female.
Right.
So boys don't play with girls. In terms of
Physical.
yeah,
Right.
so the boys in one group and the girls they are playing together.
Right.
But boys are with boys, and that's how they play with the girls.
Right.
But they are singing, and to hear this chorus of the girls singing, the young guys singing, and this is going on
Yeah.
for hours with laughter. And I'm saying, do we think in our world in Trinidad that our kids are better off than these kids?
No way.
Right?
No way.
These kids are not there in the night, thinking about we are poor and all of that. No.
No way.
They are living and they are enjoying life. Yes, there are certain things that they lack that every human being wants, right? For basic needs to make a better living for ourselves. We all desire that. And how can we come in and be a part of that for bringing empowerment that these young people, from the time that we moved into the village till today, this is the first time we have started a school. From starting reading their own language, these are the kids, the ages of our kids. My kids came back to Trinidad, they have finished their education, graduated from UWI, whatever. 5 of these kids that are friends of my kids is the first generation to be out in university.
Damn.
Right? To get in this type of education so that your minds can be expanded so that they can say now, one is saying, I want to be an electrical engineer. His father in the village didn't even know what that means. But now he's at that point, if he gets that, now he can return to his village and say that river in the village, we're going to transform that into a hydro dam. So that's the type of thing we're saying, how can we come in and empower people?
Them, yeah.
So I cannot empower the whole of Africa.
Nah, but you could start with the village.
Yeah, with that little point that we are in, that's where we are trying
Read
to
out
to make change.
them are some comments there from Mendoza. No?
So he said, sometimes we forget that primitive is really prime natives and not as they have taught us to see it as a derogatory term. We are the first and we should be proud of it. We talk about that, boy. They destroyed that. Someone stole the minds of their youth and now they have to fight to regain their attention. But for centuries, they survived generations upon generations without modernization. And then he said that's the point he's making. The Africans didn't see themselves as poor or needing modernization. That's something that was sold to them by the West. These people were building pyramids, so I don't know how Western education can expand their minds. That can only hijack their minds.
And this is something that I just struggle with. I struggle with what we see on TV. That's why it's so good to have a conversation with
Somebody
people
who
like Mr.
actually did.
Yearwood. I struggle with what I see on TV and the history that I have learned from the great scholars, some of them when they, Dr. Yosef Ben-Yakanan was actually born in Ethiopia and never stopped going back even though he found his fame in America. Dr. Clark would have been traveling to Africa, you know. When we learn these things, and I always question, like, why we need this system that we live in under here in the West not working for us. That's just the reality.
Right.
It worked for some. And then they have to put some token black people in certain places to make it look like and inspire the rest to keep our going there. But this is not working for us.
Right.
Why then would we think that taking this system via the education, the medicine, the fashion, entertainment, and everything that is components of the system to Africa is going to enhance Africa?
What I would like to say though, knowledge and truth is knowledge and truth, and does not have barriers in terms of race or anything like that.
Right.
Truth is truth. If I get cancer, and the white person get cancer, or the Indian person get cancer, it's the same cancer, right? It's the same thing that is causing it, right? So to me, to a certain degree, I will say yes. But when you see in these, for me, Africa, as we know, Ethiopia, Egypt, they rule the world, right? If they won't have good knowledge and science, how could they have built the pyramids?
Yeah.
Right? So that truth of science, of mathematics, and these things, I don't think that should be owned by any one race or whatever. And whether, for me, the Egyptians, they knew mathematics. Okay? So if a tribe in Guinea right now, right, when we count, even the number system, that language, when we started to learn this language, I said these people, every one of these people have PhDs. To say the word the. They have 16 ways to say the. It's like the complication of these languages, you begin to see that there's knowledge, there is truth, there's wisdom already there. However, because there's a mindset, right? And I don't know who to blame, right? Because whoever it was to blame, but the mere fact is, today there's a certain mindset.
No denying that.
That continues to keep the people
Down.
If I believe as a dog, I'll act like a dog.
Correct.
Right? And the only way to change that mindset is by bringing truth and knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? And once that person's mind begins
Expands.
to expand based on truth, based on what is science, what is true knowledge, that person now have access to something that they can take, empower themselves, and empower what changes that needs to be taken as a grassroots level in the village.
Right.
But for me as an outsider, to say the way they are right now is good, and anything I bring in is Western education. Where did Western education come from anyway? Right? So to me, to take back some of these things, to see, when we started reading, right, to see us a 14-year-old girl who have never been to school, when we started, in 3 months, there was not anything she could not have read or write. You begin to see the intelligence of these people. So to me, it's give them. As we are all humans. Expose them to the things that we have. Not saying that I'm going to bring in modernization in terms of television that brings in Hollywood and corruption. No. But there's truth and there's knowledge, there's science that they already have.
Yes.
Because they have words for all of that. When we try to explain science and there's already words in the language for it, that shows that way back in history, they actually had this, right? So to me, bringing some of that back into the village location and the villages, they are crying out for it. And when they get this, they are starting to say, no, we are true human beings.
Right.
Now we are not, I'm saying that is in a sense, now we are no longer inferior. We are no longer something that is more animal than opposed to human.
All right, so here what? Because I want to delve a little bit into the skincare now, because at the end of the day, I am very fascinated with that, and I want to probably talk to you about it afterwards.
Okay.
But so because as you know, the topic is skincare for the melanated people.
Yeah.
As somebody who would have graduated University of West Indies as a chemist, you would have spent time understanding the difference between the different types of skin, right? Of course, we out here using Vaseline and all kind of madness. But as somebody who has developed these products, what do you think is the difference in terms of what we're using now and why we should go to this?
Okay. I would take no fame that I developed anything.
All right, cool.
To me, what we found amazing, right? We went into the village and they were all making this soap, right? And I mean, say it's made in Ghana, it's made in Ivory Coast, the African black soap.
Right.
Now in Ghana or Ivory Coast, the base of it is a lot of shea butter and cocoa.
Right.
Right. Our village was so remote that all they use to make this soap,
The same soap.
was their medicinal plants.
Okay.
Right. This is something that they were using for centuries, and it proved it. We are in the village. We honestly, to this day, we could not tell the age of a woman until she takes off her hair tie. The type of skin, right? I'm telling you, if I walk around the village with a pimple, they come and it's like, "What's on your face?" You know, right? It is so weird to see somebody with that. However, there's your younger generation that is now using products that they buy from wherever. Is indeed given the skin reactions. So these things have been used in Africa, in our location with our tribe, for centuries.
Right.
And it has always worked. Right? So we are saying, hey, if it's already working,
Don't reinvent the wheel. Yeah.
can I take this and use it and see if it actually works for me? I had serious dandruff problems.
Right.
Sell some blue, got all my money. Right? But if I didn't use that for a week, my dandruff comes right back.
Yeah. So it's suppressing.
Right. I used this
Soap.
because I was in Trinidad and I think an emancipation thing was coming up, and somebody says, "You're in Africa, have you heard about the African black soap?" No, we are there 20 years. I seen this thing. I was stepping over it. I am not going to put that on my skin. Right? Someone asked, "Do you have the African black soap in Guinea?
Yeah.
Would you bring some for me?" And I'm like, so my wife says, "Is that the same thing we have in the village?" So I went to the village and I says, "Can I, before I bring this back to Trinidad, I would actually let me use piece."
Yeah.
No, it really looked like cow dung. Right? And I used the black soap.
Right.
Right. That was the first thing I had. What do you call, like grung itch in between my you know, different.
Between
there's
your toes.
there's a little
Yeah.
crack,
Yeah.
you know, that itches something. Right. I used that for 3 days a week before I came back to Trinidad.
Go on.
And every single little thing on my fingers, little cracks and stuff, went away. Right? So that's when we started bringing them back and just giving it to our friends.
Right.
Right? And people are saying, "But this thing is amazing. Ron, you need to start selling this." Right? So that's how we grew with it.
Right.
But as a scientist as well, okay, I went the other option because the way they make it in the village, it is so brusque. Or I mean, say they do a pretty good job making it,
Right.
but there's no standardization.
Right.
Each woman may make it slightly differently,
Different,
and it's acid to make soap, and sometimes it can burn you.
Okay.
Right? So we got good ones that are working, and I tested it to see the level of alkalinity and everything.
Right.
And so now when we come back, when we bring the bulk in, we formulate it.
Right.
Right? Standardize it so you wouldn't have the effect of some burning your skin, some working, and stuff like that. So basically, we took what the oils that they were using. Right? This is our facial wash. Right? That's for the ladies, but
No, go on, say that's a no.
but it's for everybody.
All right, okay.
Okay. But a wonderful, again, facial wash. So we have the shampoo, we have the conditioner, and then different skin creams. We have a massage oil that is a muscle relaxer, right? Actually, women who are actually
Menstruating.
no,
Cramping?
pregnant. They're not supposed to use it
Okay.
because it can actually cause your muscles to relax.
Oh, and
Right.
just bring on the labor.
So
Yeah.
it may be helpful for women who are now going into labor to actually
Use it.
Use that. And again, that is just from plants each plant in the village, as I said, the word for plant is medicine. For
Right.
them,
Black
every
soap.
plant that God has created is
Is
for
for-
our benefit.
yeah.
It has a use.
Right.
And so we just harnessing that. They were willing to share that with us. Since we also started sharing our medicine with them, it became a sharing. And some of their secrets, some of the hidden
Right.
stuff, they were able to tell me exactly how it works and stuff like that. So based on that, we have developed this line of products.
Excellent.
These are available here, right? So if we order this from here, it's coming from here, or we'd have to wait for it
No,
to...
it's right here. We bring the bulk back,
Great,
right?
great.
And we just reformulate it here and package it in a form, standardize it. But it's all
Because
it's
I
all
know the
available here.
person who was asking,
Yeah, she's in the US.
But she's also going to be here shortly, and she's going to order.
Yeah, it was available before COVID that we used to sell in the US online with the online store, but we are getting back into that.
Okay. So affexancosmetics.com is where we go to order.
Yes.
All right. And it is fulfilled from Trinidad.
Yeah.
All right.
All the orders can be from Trinidad.
All right.
But I think one of the things you ask is in terms of skin types. We do have Caucasian people who are using it, and because in our work we work with a lot of Americans there in West Africa,
Right.
and some of them have had certain skin issues,
Yeah, there are plenty of issues.
and they use the skin products, and we have some reports from them. It's like it really is amazing. The shampoo is more, I think, formulated for black hair, but I think it crosses over. But there's the stuff that black people
yeah.
developed, black people using,
Well,
and,
you know what?
I just packaging it.
So you know what I like about this, right? It wasn't developed with the mindset to develop something for us.
Right.
It's just packaging something that we've been using for thousands of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it had no doubt that it has been working.
Yeah.
You know, so we have some people in the chat. Gertrude McCarthy, really great topic. Thank you.
Sheldon asked if the prices are in TT,
But
if
then
he
he
could
say-
get it in the US.
Yeah, then you say you answer the question,
Yeah.
right? Sean Sadie's in the house.
Hey. Serious boy. Let me just do a
Let
little.
us go in there.
Yeah, let me just do a little shout out here to Big Belly Eatery. If all you never try it, boy, go check out the man. He's in Utig Road in Belmont, next door to Screen Stars. I also want to shout out for those who can see, my garment was sponsored by hey boy, you going? House of Dreads, at House of Dreads on Instagram. Black owned, black designed. You know, big up yourself, Cohen. He's a gunner. So
Yeah.
two all you go get along good. Fire for that still.
We go meet all you again.
Bassa for life.
Do we?
Don't worry yourself nah. Don't worry yourself. You just remember where your boy come from, eh? He's a mass, yeah. Yeah, so Nick Marsha is asking here, would you suggest the muscle relaxer for menstrual cramps?
I'll have to ask my wife and that, but like, I don't think we have any of the oils here. But I just played young on Sunday and went and played some football.
Aye.
Right, and I started to feel the effects on my knee.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
You know, but we just soaked the oil, rubbed it on the knee,
Right.
and it really,
Relief?
really helped.
All right.
Yeah, they use it quite a bit for the old. It's the old people use it quite a bit
Yeah.
to rub down in the night. Yeah. So.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, but I cannot specifically say, because we are not really selling it. The thing about it is we are not promoting this as medical,
Yeah.
right? Medical, herbal, and stuff like that.
Right.
But what the people tell us they use it for, we have tried it with that, and we have seen that it really works.
Okay.
I mean, but some for relaxing muscles and stuff like that, it does.
Hell yeah.
Work, yeah. So that is, we have one called the Remedy Butter that have that in it.
So this here is just the tip of the iceberg. God.
Well, we are continuing to do other, like, wanting to bring in other stuff that they're using. How do you actually formulate it and stuff?
Right.
They don't have a toothpaste, but that brush that they use has all these antibiotics and antifungal, antibacterial sticks that they use. I see sometimes it's being sold now on Amazon.
Right.
But
We used to sell it here a lot too. No?
Yeah, but that toothbrush stick.
I was in mint stick we used to chew a long time.
Well, it's kind of like that, but I says each tribe has
Their own thing.
their own thing that
variation.
grows. I remember small. I think we should use guava wood, But they have a particular one that they use. But one of the things as a chemist that I try to do is to do the scientific research on the product.
Yeah.
Finding out what actually are the chemicals, because the phytochemical analysis has been done on most of those plants.
Yeah.
What is the chemistry behind it, and does the chemistry back up the claims that they are
use.
that they are using it?
Okay.
And we are finding for the most part it does do that.
Nice. Very nice. Well, I mean, we fly the flag for black business
Okay.
very high, which is why we ask you to come. Gertrude says that soap is really a top seller in the United States because of the health struck. No, I don't know what she mean by that.
Now, well, she's a big user right now,
Right.
right? So she could testify
Right.
to the effects on your body of the
Yeah. So we'll be sharing up this in terms of the products. I ready to move away from all the nonsense I using. I mean, I using Patrice have a local soap that she's make, different organic soaps. They work pretty well. They don't dry out your skin either. I've never used the black soap, but I will be taking one from you.
why
So
like-
we would like to. There's black soap and there's black soap.
yes, we know.
Yeah.
that
No, I
for
never
sure.
used her black soap.
No, but there's even stuff on the market that is very, very black.
Right.
But it's not.
But it's not black soap.
Yeah.
the black
The traditional
soap,
black soap.
So,
Okay.
and again, there's black soap from Ghana.
Right.
Right.
From
There's
Nigeria.
Ivory
Different,
Coast.
which is
There's-
different.
which is different. Nigeria is is different. Guinea
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
And the more remote that the soaps are made, the ingredients will be different.
Different, yeah.
Right. So yes, there's black soap, but there are different grades and different qualities.
They had a black soap I used to use. I tell them, cutting out a little piece and beating it up. If you use a regular soap that size, you can't use it. Or the black soap that I was using, I get some from Nigeria. Oh, I tell you, a little piece you cut in.
Right.
Because I'd get like a lump. No? It's cutting off pieces. But I haven't used the black soap per se in a while. These days, I'm using soaps made here
Yeah.
from one of our artisans. As he say, we will promote.
That's Hills and Valleys.
Yeah. We will promote, support black-owned business. And I think it real sad that in 2023, sorry, we still have to say to black people, support black-owned business.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's something that we'd probably like to, because you don't be here regularly.
Yeah,
Do you
we-
have somebody here?
Yeah, but
represent?
my daughter is the one that runs the company now.
Wow.
She grew up in the village.
Nice.
And she's all natural, always using all of
Another
this stuff.
gunner?
And so
Up the road now.
and so she's here to run it whenever
Right.
I go back.
Yeah.
Supplies are running out. We'd have the ladies in the village make a new stock,
Send it down.
and we would bring. And
All
we
right.
bring-
Well, we'll reach out to her. We'll get her
Yeah.
contact
Yes.
information and stuff because we also have a black market called IA
Okay.
that we try. Well, we've had for the last 5 years during Christmas.
Okay.
But we move in towards doing it quarterly, and then hopefully we will do it monthly, and then hopefully we'll be able to open it on a consistent basis where we have black artisans,
What?
such as yourself.
Even to add to that, even before we go there, I find this should be at the things like the black market. the black market is held by David Mohammed and them of the Black Agenda Project
Okay.
in the
Kwame
Kwame
Ture
Ture
Center.
Center.
Yeah.
All right.
Right?
You know where Kwame
Of
Ture died?
course, yeah.
You know where he died?
Yeah.
in Guinea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have? I have been well received in Guinea because of Kwame Ture.
Yeah, you see?
His gravesite is right in Conakry. So even some of the old ministers and stuff, he was high up in the Guinean government.
Right.
And
His
stuff.
son is there still, right?
No, I think
his son is in the US.
All the kids are in the US.
US, okay, yeah.
But that's the place of
Yeah, where he
Kwame
pa-
Ture. He learned the Malenke language, which is one of the 66 languages of Guinea, West Africa. And in fact, some of our words in Trinidad, in our Trinidad English, that I never knew, is now that I know some African, I can speak some African language,
Yeah.
has some of the root in the African language.
Give us a couple now.
Well, I don't know how many people know like, the word yamming down the food. Stuff
Yamen,
like
yeah.
I always associated that with the tuber yam.
Yeah.
But it's a verb root
Okay.
in the Manding group of languages meaning to eat. Ka yamakme,
Ah.
ne nyamaname, and it's to eat with one's hand.
Yeah.
So-
Give me
so-
a next
so-
one now.
So starting to see some of those linkages in
Yeah.
our Trinidad Creole.
Yeah. Back to that.
Back to that Manding or West Africa.
Mm.
A lot of doing some history in the museum. A lot of our ancestry actually came out of Guinea.
Okay.
Susu, Fulanis, Landuman, Nalu, quite a Basari even. It's quite a few of those tribal groups
Right.
actually. Ancestry in Trinidad is back from the Guinea coast, you know. So,
Right.
so that was interesting.
Do you plan to do this in any way, form, or fashion of English to that?
Well, we do have an English to this. Everything that we do, we have a English for those, because when we do something like this, it's not just to look at it and see it looks nice. It's actually
To learn.
No, but it's all actually have to be tested,
Right.
right, and verified. And the people who has to come in and the consultants, the language consultants, they do not speak the tribal language.
Right.
So an English version of it has to be produced where they come and test. So we are doing like fables, a lot of the African tribal fables or proverbs, right? Compiling a list of some of those wonderful they are I love the language, very colorful, always a story, always have a proverb, you know, and
Yeah.
so a lot of those proverbs.
That's
we
one
are
of the,
making a
I think
compilation.
that's one of the most common things when they deal with different African kingdoms, you know,
Yeah.
that they seem to, it's not should I go over there and stand up on that table? The answer never seems to be, no,
Straightforward.
that is not a good yeah, or yes, go ahead.
Yes, so the answer would be,
In some sort
So,
of,
Parable.
yeah,
it wasn't the day that the sun rise.
right? But what I have seen with those parables is that is not the only situation in life that those parables answer. They also help with other stuff. You know, and we get so much wisdom from them. You know, what make we stop that? We used to always close off with
It was running out.
now we can't run out. We gotta start back to look back.
You
and
gotta
say
look
that.
for them, yeah.
Yeah.
African. We used to close the
African.
show with African proverb.
And one of I had two favorites. The river that forgets its source dries up, and a library burns down when an old person dies.
About the one where a child will burn a village
Yeah,
down
to feel it
to
warm.
feel its warmth.
A child who does not feel the love of the
Village.
will burn it down to feel that warmth. We are seeing that today in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, for
Clean
sure.
and clear.
Sure.
You know, there's so much. The other one that I had a real like, it seemed to have fly over a little bit of people's head was no matter how long the log stay in the river,
Never turns into an
it
alligator.
will never turn to alligator. You could wear how much white man name on your chest, drive how much big this, drive big that.
Yeah.
You have big celebrities tell you, Dr. J, and he get pulled over too and tell you,
Yeah.
you know, you could try all how.
But you will still be a log.
Yeah, still be a log.
Yeah.
Yes, so,
Yeah. You know, so as that's what I was going to just now, like, so you say the products will be here. I would get into this because my daughter at her age now, where she done start to get conscious of the different creams. She loves shea butter. So to know that she getting a cream to spray out in one of these bottles to squeeze out, but the shea butter, I know.
These are soaps.
Right.
Yeah, shampoos and soaps.
Yeah, the shea butter.
The butter's in the container.
Right. So to give her shea butter products in containers like these, I think that would even.
And one other side benefit from this that I use it as is also an insect repellent. So if I go out in the night, I just spray it with my hand, rub it all over my face, and it's on. It's on.
That's the end of that.
Yeah, this is soap.
Okay.
It's antibacterial, antifungal, right? And we're saying it's the Guinea one. I'm not saying every black soap,
Right.
Because all black soaps would be very good in terms of as a soap as cleaning, but some of the medicinal aspects of it.
So you see why they're playing they're using the mosquito nets as football posts, I think. Right. These are there any plans to get them in physical locations?
Well, we had that before COVID,
Right.
right? But since that, we have rebranded, and we have, of course, we are very open to that, but we have not gone that step, to actually get it, put it back
On the
into
shelves.
on the shelves in a physical location. But we did have a few stores, and because we were always very big at the emancipation, right?
Village, right.
Yeah, so we got a lot of people following us.
I find that
from
strange.
You never meet him.
I've been selling at the Emancipation Village since 2012.
We had two. We had this, and my wife set up. We cook because she also cook African food, so we would cook the African food, and we had a food stall.
Right.
So this last time we came back too late, so we weren't able to do it. But whenever, I think we were there maybe about four years in a row. Yeah.
So you see.
So we said African clothes, the products.
What's the name of the bottle they're selling?
Well, it was Affexan.
Affexan. And that's why I say, I was telling you that when we're in the village, sometimes it doesn't realize how much things that have going on there, boy. I always tell people, you can't come to the village. If you're serious,
You got to move around.
you can't come to the village once. Because I've been selling in the village since 2012, but I've been coming to the village, and I'm talking about every year, since 2004 or 3. And spending a whole day. Me and Mary. Shout out to Space, my brethren Space. We used to come to that village and spend the whole day. We'd come in the village like 12 o'clock in the day. And spend the whole day till late in the night. And then come back on the day itself, on Emancipation Day itself. But this is something that, just like the same way I feel about the cleaning products, we just buy.
Oh, from my girl.
No, there's one same by the same black market. I remember the name just now. I seen them in supermarkets now. I try my best to only use that because they have disinfectant, hand soap, dishwashing liquid. And once I use it, because I tell people, and I want to reiterate this, I do not recommend a product that I either don't know anybody use or never use for myself.
Yeah.
So when I use this and I get the quality and thing for myself, I like, yeah, right. And remember I tell you I bought a...
Remember I used to watch Young Drive with it, I just can't remember the name.
I go remember the name. I watch, I'm telling you, I'm so impressed on this making right in Mova.
Yeah.
By black people.
Yeah.
But I'm not satisfied with the amount of groceries I've seen it in. There's a whole lot of conversation.
Yeah.
Right? It's not by choice of the manufacturers. But
the problem with that is that in itself is a mafia.
Exactly. So that's it. There's a whole lot of
Getting on the
conversation.
shelf is a problem. You have to know, and then where the shelf you want to go on is a particular price, and
I'm telling you,
it just don't work out. And it don't make sense to plenty people either.
I spoke to some of the merchandisers. They didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
they didn't know what I affiliated with.
Yeah.
And they look around, make sure that nobody else around, and telling me some of the troubles they get in to have the products stay where they pack it.
Yeah.
Right?
And
So
the merchandisers just come and blackmail, blackball you and thing, you know, move your thing, turn it wrong, inside out, so you don't see it. And
But when I tell you, I am totally satisfied with this product.
yeah.
Every product that I have used from them, I satisfied. The dishwashing
What's the
liquid.
name of the
I try to remember the name right now, boy.
I can't remember my name neither, boy.
It go come to me. But I let me tell you the three products in the majority I use. The dishwashing liquid, the disinfectant with not the disinfectant we know as the black disinfectant is to clean out with, mop out and thing. And the hand soap.
Okay.
Right? And I've been using it since December 2020. That was the first time I tried it. And I want to say the same about this. I will be getting some.
Yes. I've
Right.
been using this ever that first day, what over 10 years now?
Yeah.
That first day that I used the black soap.
After stuff.
Yeah. Ever stepping over it is like, okay, ever since that.
It works.
That's what we use, all my little skin stuff.
Yeah. But even sitting here looking at your face, you could tell,
Yes.
you know?
And you can't even tell that I'm 75, right?
Nah.
Mardi Gras.
No, I'm not.
He's
I'm
a
not-
75.
You
You take that chain, boy, now, man.
No, I had to take that chain, boy, because watch me now. I watching some people and they're telling me some ages and then showing it to prove.
Yeah.
Like, how you is 60 something? You ain't looking 20 something years older than me.
Yeah.
You know, so that ain't far fetched. That ain't far fetched. I mean, we watching some of we women in Hollywood.
Yeah. Oh, dear, boy. Angela Bassett.
That ain't far fetched at all.
Jesus. That girl, she does not aging, boy.
That's not far fetched, boy. The we live in here now.
Yeah.
Just maybe last week or before I tell Nikki that. So like we aging different to the group of children that come out, like we say 3, 4, 5 years after we or because you looking younger than some of them.
Yeah.
You know, we not necessarily looking our age.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't don't devise it down like say and they're moving and they ain't looking feeble and nah. What somebody say recently, what? Our grandmother today is not the same grandmother that was 20
Nah,
years ago.
at all.
Not the same material.
At all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but all all of that can be tied into things like this. The
Of
way
course.
they take care of themselves, the products that they use.
Using, yeah.
What
What they eat.
their diet.
Yeah.
So when I go back there, we eat healthier. You know, so it's a lot of things. You know,
You eat meat? You all eat meat?
Yeah. Like the village eats lots of fish,
Right.
right? And whatever they hunt, a lot of hunting. But some of the idea that we go in and we need to help these people to improve their diets and to a lot, so in certain instances, yes, there's lots of food or whatever. But our location, it's like these people,
Thriving.
yeah, they're doing
Plenty provision.
yeah, they eat well.
Rice?
Rice is a major thing for the new generation. It's taken over, but a lot of provision. Peanuts is a big thing. The ground provision. Yep. A lot of the leaves that they eat. So they can't figure out why we could eat lettuce raw. As they were telling me, they're not a goat.
So what else do
So
they
they took the lettuce that I brought and they cook it. Right. But sorrel leaves, they eat sorrel leaves, which, hibiscus leaves.
Right.
Gives a nice, like a nice citric taste to it. So stuff our diet has changed and included stuff that we have in Trinidad that we never really knew that it was edible.
Right.
And we saw how they prepare it there.
So hibiscus, you say hibiscus leaves,
Well,
right?
there's that whole family, hibiscus and
Sorrel is a
It's the
hibiscus,
same, it's the
yeah.
same family, yeah. But they use the leaves.
When is it like cook it?
Yeah, and it tastes like a cuchilla or something.
Mardi Gras, like, so like we not like how we just do abaji.
No, they will use sweet potato leaves for that. Sweet potato leaves. That's my favorite. Sweet potato and cassava leaves,
Eat it.
like a callaloo, like a spinach.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All la cassava, I agree. I never study.
Beautiful.
We never
We
studied to
don't get
cook.
beaten up.
In
We
fact-
don't get beaten up by.
And they do it, the dashing bush.
Uh-huh.
That's poor people food. Then so we in there and my wife picking dashing to make callaloo, and all the ladies is like, you're supposed to be picking that in the night. Don't let people see you picking it.
Look, Mendoza saying he cooks sorrel leaves like that. Jerry, yeah.
What?
They're real adventurous, but
But
Yeah, boy.
it's good. Yeah.
All right.
In fact, this says the proven again scientifically, the cassava, the leaves with the root pretty much makes a balanced diet. The leaves are very rich in potassium and other stuff that it does not have in the tuber. So when you combine the two, you actually have a fairly good balanced diet. Yeah.
You say now we just chew it the top of the cassava
Yeah, man.
when them leaf fall off. You dash
Sure,
with
yeah,
that.
but yo. When
Nice
they do
food.
the fine run up, you cut it down and think you just dig up your cassava and go your way.
Yeah.
There's a process, of washing, of getting out the milk and all of that of the cassava leaves that you have
Right.
to do.
Well, look at Kino saying here, yep, sweet potato leaves are highly nutritious.
Well, that the plants, man. I waiting on them, man. After you taking kind of long.
Yeah.
And
But,
Mendoza say, well, he make callaloo with moringa,
Moringa
leaves.
leaves, yeah.
What?
Papa.
Oh,
You
they
learning
better
something
than me.
here today. Yeah, boy, I know.
Yeah.
He said so there's no cyanide in the cassava leaves.
Well,
That's probably the milk you're talking
no,
about.
but my kids, I don't know, something, I think cassava and stuff is originated from this part of the world, South
Right.
and Central America.
Right.
Right? And somehow I think our cassava, maybe because of the soil or whatever,
Richer.
you can have bitter cassava, right? Or
Right.
the poisonous cassava, the wild cassava.
Oh,
But in Africa, where we are,
none of that.
right? So like I would not eat cassava raw here.
Right, but you
that's
eat
a
it raw
big,
there.
yeah, that's a big thing there. You eat the cassava raw. So I think depending on the soil type,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possible.
here
Raw
there's more
cassava,
danger.
boy, that doesn't be so stringy.
No, but there they have it's really
buttery.
tastes good. Yeah,
Ah.
yeah, it really tastes good. I'm eating the raw cassava. So yeah, so it will have less poisonous stuff or whatever in it.
Okay. Interesting. But how come you never change your name?
To what?
You have an African name?
They will call me Yera, meaning well in the village
Uh-huh.
names are given according to your birth order.
Right.
So you have Kali, Yera, Chara is firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a firstborn boy, it's Chara, and you have Yera, Kali, Indira. You have up to seven names,
Okay.
depending upon when you are born, and so
When as in the order of
yeah, your order
when
of
you
birth among the males.
Mains,
Yeah.
okay.
And so after that, now you would have, well, if you're Islam, then you would have an Islamic name, or if you're a Christian, you may have a Christian name. So for me, the nice thing that my name
Yeah.
means something in the language, so they think we are really from the tribe, that our ancestors are from the tribe, because my name and all the names of our kids turned out to have meaning in the tribal language.
What trouble is
Right?
this?
So
Destiny, boy.
yeah. So for example, my daughter name is Rene, and that means ka Rene, me, I will protect you.
So in Trinidad we will say Rennie.
Rene, the word Rene.
Right.
If they say Rene in the tribal language,
Uh-huh.
it's the one that protects. My name is Ron. Ronald, Ron. Ron means I am here. Yeah, you know. So each one of our names sounds tanda. So we just remain with that.
No, the greatest thing is I see in Ronald typing here, you know. You have a Ronald here in the chat, your wife online.
My wife must be online.
Oh, she said they watch the cassava leaves really well after it is grounded.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So Mendoza say, I didn't know that. Well, as Ron was saying, we probably have a different strain.
Yeah,
of the
of the cassava,
here,
yeah.
Right?
Because Kyle say you
guy-
had to be careful with it, you could go blind if not cooked.
Yeah.
There's one here. Good
Yeah,
she'd
and
say,
consumed in excess.
pepper leaf mixed with rice and cut fish so good comes out like spinach rice. Pepper leaf. She's a good cook too, so
But they are
Why she gotta bring that and give me and
I
no
ain't
tell me
doubting
that?
that at all.
they are very good with leaves. So they don't eat like vegetables how we eat it,
Right.
bok choy and stuff like that. But a lot of plant leaves and stuff, they know. They pick, and the ladies from different trees, silk cotton leaves, tree leaves. That, you eat some of this stuff and it's like, wow.
To eat? You
You
know,
know, so
I can't even, just hearing that, I can't even say no to that because the silk cotton tree is so important to us.
Yeah.
And our history as African people, especially as an Orisha devotee. But even in terms of Trinidad folklore, it came out of African.
Yeah, West African.
Right. So it's not far-fetched to think that you could also eat
Yeah, it's a-
from the silk cotton tree.
Yeah, but what it also enlightens us into this so-called food shortage we having right now.
Never happened.
We ain't really supposed to be having no, because if we eating leaf, cassava leaf and
Remember
and
what I
kinda
was
thing,
telling-
we ain't supposed to be having no problem.
Remember what I was telling your partner in the shop what it was how I don't believe in things like
Recession.
a
and
recession.
thing, Yeah.
It's all,
It's the same thing
Man-made, yeah.
It's the same thing with what they call food shortage.
Yeah.
Well, like in our part, the problems occur when there is,
Drought.
lack of water or too much water. But the silk cotton tree or the other tree would be the baobab tree in Senegal.
God, I want to see that bad.
Those are trees that are very, very important for the tribe, right? Because it's a food source.
Yeah.
In times of problems,
Yeah.
they cut the tree,
Feed everybody.
and then the tree sends out a whole set of new leaves and new branches. So
Fresh food.
yeah, fresh food in a drought. There's no rain.
Yeah.
But you cut part of a branch of a baobab or silk cotton, it sends off leaves like crazy, and so that is food. The pods are medicinal that they use to make soap.
Right.
And then in their tradition, the religious aspect of the tree, it's also tells the age of the village. The first thing that they do as they move into the village is to plant a silk cotton tree. So that tree, depending on the size that it is, you can tell the age of the village. So very, very significant.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, boy. I think I got my woods and goal here today. Yes.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, boy. Well, you ain't leaving with some of them products, Alan,
Okay,
Because I have a little cash on me, so I'm going to be
Okay.
taking a couple of things.
Well, that person who Ronald Yearwood on his side,
Uh-huh.
let that person write quick and tell you what the prices are.
Right, yes. Send your husband the prices to me quick now, because there are some things I want to buy here. Please.
The products, bringing them into the country is experience any the
Clearly
raw
not.
material. Any problems?
So far, no, because you say we are registered as a company, right?
In
And,
Trinidad or
Yeah.
Trinidad.
right.
In Trinidad, and we get the necessary phytochemical analysis and stuff.
You have to go through,
Food.
FDA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Food and drug. So the raw material, we have not had so far any issues.
Nobody tried to buy the company yet?
Huh?
Nobody tried to buy the company
No,
yet?
I would like that. But the shea butter is also very well known. Once you say shea butter, the soap, however,
Yeah.
is a little more complicated because it's not a soap. When you bring it in, it's not.
It's a raw material,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a raw material.
That's
So,
why I'm asking you
yeah,
because I mean
so-
it sounds like some of them are reconstituted here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking
Yeah.
based on that.
But so far, we have not had a problem. to
Give
bring it
thanks,
in,
sir.
yeah.
Give thanks,
to bring
sir.
I was watching a video on Instagram of them making the shea butter in Africa the other day.
Right.
Whipping.
Huh?
Whipping.
Yeah.
And that is, to me, that's another thing. There is so much. That this is, like we are seeing in the village, this is such a rich source of income for these people.
Yeah.
But 90% of the shea butter is not used. 90% is wasted.
Where? There?
Yeah. Because there's so, God has give that place, is acres and acres of natural grown shea butter. And it's like a little zabaka.
Zabaka, yeah.
And it tastes good. It tastes like a kaimet.
You eating it?
Yes. Right?
jail is this
So,
boy?
so that's what the kids eat the
That is the
fruit.
second time somebody tell me that I'm not true more because that is a fruit I can't stand at all.
But they
What,
eat,
she?
Kaimet.
Kaimet? Oh.
but they eat it, and then you throw the nut. So you go and the place is just infested with that.
With the
and-
trees.
Yeah, and the nuts just stay and rot. So the ladies will just make sufficient for their use.
Right.
But it's not like they're making to export or sell or whatever.
Right.
So 90% is just or more is never harvested or used. So those are some of the things we are trying to say to the ladies. Hey, if we get a market to sell this stuff, the more we can sell is the more that these ladies now would be making these products for themselves, and so we can benefit from it. But there's really lots of shea butter trees and just no one plants it. It just grows.
Yeah, but if it's something you're eating, and you're trying to already seed. So House of Dread said definitely need to bring back Mr. Yearwood. His wisdom and experience should not go unnoticed for a few generations. I agree. There's something I say right true, boy. And that's why I have a problem with what we just call newspapers and things today, right? You doing this thing as a Trinidadian, we like to claim we Trinis.
Yeah.
And next thing I tell them I is not Trini. I am an African born in the beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This is beyond impressive for me.
Oh, Miguel.
That mixed ribs.
Pork.
This is absolutely beyond impressive to me that you went in there not knowing one iota of these people's language. Lived among them, live in a way that they would welcome you as one of them and your family.
Yeah.
And then you were able to learn the language in such a way that you could put it in a book, have it tested, and so that we could get, Karen and I could get this book and learn some in that language. That's impressive. That's not good enough information to make the newspapers, right?
Yeah. It was not easy because trying to learn a language
Okay, I know.
that has not been written. So it's not like I learning Spanish and prepare to go in.
Yeah.
You're just thrown into this place. And I remember my first time in the village, we are sitting down, and here comes this little boy. Right? He comes, he sits, and we look at each other. The only thing I can do is smile. And he smiles. And then he says, which? Chakawa chickeny which? I have no clue
What you saying?
what he's saying. And he said it again. Which? Chakawa chickeny which? No idea. And he looked at me in frustration and he says, Kaliwa chicken no. Which she chakawa chicken which? And all I could do is just sit there and look dumb and smile.
Yeah.
And he got up and finally left.
Right.
And I sure he went back to the village and said to all the kids, I just met the stupidest man in my life.
I know, so I'm trying to talk to that chipping man there.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, I ask any man his name.
Yeah.
And he can't tell me his name.
Wow.
And that's when, during that time, you know, I went across here as an intellectual,
Right.
thinking I'm going to help these people.
Yeah.
And I realized how stupid I am.
Yeah.
You know? So having to humble yourself to the point,
Right.
to be laughed at, right? And learn the language. But I thank God as a Trinidadian and I like to lime. I learned the language liming. We go fishing with the fellas,
Yeah.
right? And that's how we started we learned the language.
You teach them English?
No, they didn't even know what English is. It's like, what is that? You know, for them, even French, even though French is a national language of the country, they didn't speak that language. At that point in time, this is about 25 years ago we are talking about.
Yeah.
The tribe was very, very remote, right? I'm telling you, they even within the Guinea culture,
Right.
they didn't have much relationships with other tribes.
So, before you go any further, right, I want to say this, that I agree with House of Dread, that when you come back here, we'd like to have you back again.
Okay.
Right? Because we had the time here, but, I mean, we ain't finished. We ain't finished.
Yeah.
Right? Sheldon Mendoza say, yes, this is greatness incarnate. He's a blessing. I want to second that.
Yeah, I did it.
And again, I was telling you, when you come into a place where we want to give you props while you're here.
Yeah.
We don't want when you leave to go to the next stream, then we ball it, you know he was now. We want to tell you now. There's greatness here. Right? Kyle Grant say Mr. Yearwood should be the official TT ambassador to West Guinea, in my opinion. But I second that.
Yeah.
Because what I have a problem with is politicians being appointed to posts that they have no knowledge about. So you are from here, but you lived there. You have actually lived with the people there. They're not sending you there to learn it when you go there, you know. You go in there now. But as I say, there's a whole other thing.
I need to take a picture of this because your wife sent the price in there.
So good. She'd say back in the days in Trinidad when mothers didn't have money, she used to pull leaves of the bird pepper tree, onions, cut fresh rice, fish, rice, and pepper leaves. Best mixed season. What? I never hear that one though. But again, these things can be far-fetched if you're hearing we're using silk cotton leaves.
Yeah.
And Sheldon and them saying they're using moringa leaves. So it can be far-fetched. Remember, at that time, bird pepper was very popular in Trinidad. I remember when we making chow.
Yeah.
I can't go and take my mother pepper sauce that she make for my father. Like 2 set of licks. So bole do you need pepper sauce.
Right.
And mommy don't want to answer no question. And I talking about this. Remember the bottle of cherry used to come in?
Yeah.
A big bottle of pepper sauce my mother making.
Right.
But we can't go in it. Plus it real hot too,
Yeah.
So bird peppers, we had a lot of trees and grass and stuff. We had a lot of bird peppers, but we didn't know anything about cooking the and it's not even something it is seen now for we to say we could go and experiment. I can't tell you the last time I saw a bird pepper tree. I think younger children, 20 years old and stuff, mightn't even know what a bird pepper look like. Right? So, with that, Mr. Yearwood, any closing?
I just like to say thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Leave you with African blessing. Kagunu tund e coach dim egunu ila e coach e jomik. May God put on you His wind,
Ashe.
and may God give you a cold wind.
Ashe. Taking that.
So, but thank you for having me on your show.
Nah, man, the pleasure is ours. I think we hit our 74 views here today. Loud. Everybody was on board today, boy. So before we go, Olia, go on YouTube
And like the video.
like the video, share it up, please. All the black business owners, all remember we have the rate
Could
cards.
advertise here.
You all could advertise with us. Sponsorship is not very expensive at all. What is this? Miguel said the ribs have bird pepper and roku. Now roku is a scene. We cook with that too. Candace is cook with it. Also, we pushing the Jamets.
Yeah, boy.
Right?
Boy,
That tune hard like
Bad
whoa.
Morris clad, boy.
Yeah, so we go throw it up again at the end of the show here now.
Yeah.
Or you try and share it up on the Facebook and all your status and thing.
And it's good music. We promote it. It's good music.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So remember what is always tell you. Love is an action word.
Yes.
We gotta live in love
Yes.
with one another. You can't be living next to people and don't know them and then want to talk love when you see somebody who you know does talk love.
Yeah.
Love is an action word. Let we live in love. Let be safe out there.
Yeah.
Goodness,
And I know
more life and good health.
wifey still listening, girl. You know I love you.
Again. Yeah, blessings, peace and love.
All right.
Yeah, well, thank you very, very much. This was real informative and enjoyable.
Yes, man.
Thank you.
You laugh at me, but I'm serious about the clean boomsy thing. It's stupid to think that you don't think you need to clean your body. There's like these people who talk about they don't wash their leg because it's the jeans. Grown men. No, make sure your boomsy clean. Clean. Okay, no problem. But not you against. Have to wash your boomsy. You have to.
Resistance, ring it.
Radio.fm.
Forbes, you ready? Tika, stay there, stay ready.
She is the voice of the backyard, speaking truth when the weak find it hard. From the Twin Island of Tobago and Trinidad, I want you just make way for the.
I come for the bacchanal. I don't want no time for petty girl, no way. Whining on low in front the bar. Yes, I
who slice down baker.
You're killing it all day, boy. Drive.